I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with the cattle market summary for the week ending December the 2nd, brought to you in part by the International Brangus Breeders Association. Do you like early maturing females that are proven to be among the longest lasting? Brangus heifers are known for their maternal excellence and for breeding back quickly. Build with Brangus to build your bottom line. For more information or to find a breeder near you, visit gobrangus.com. We've been on about a 6-week rally right here and gaining a lot of ground in the cash market, and the fundamentals have been driving everything, and the board trying to keep up with it, and really a good fundamental market. And boy, we don't want to stop now, but it looked like just a couple of things here at the end of the week, including the board dumping on Friday, and now that we're working with a big basis, which is nice when you're a hedged feeder and you go to figure your break even, but now we're getting a big basis in there, and it's probably going to take a lot of starch out of the leverage and the really drive to get more market position. But you look at the board for the week there, live cattle for February on Monday was down $1.17, Tuesday was down 72, Wednesday's when they traded the fat cattle higher, it was up $1.65, Thursday down 57, and then Friday down $2.50. On the feeder cattle, January contract, Monday was down 42, Tuesday up 17, Wednesday up $1.45 along with that fat trade, Thursday was down 65, and then Friday down $3.17 to end the week at 124.60, which was down 262. Live cattle February ended the week at 108.87, down 3 1/4 for the week. December spot fats at 108.22. We're sitting here with a $1.15 market. Your feeders trading under $1.25, and most all your 8-weight feeders, which is above what the index calls for, are trading well into the $1.30. So the board is quite a bit back of what's going on in the real world, and it's fading really fast, which like I said, it gives a nice basis there, but it's getting too much disparage between it. Your fat cattle market through Thursday had 92,700 head in the 5-area feeding region on negotiated cash basis. Of course, the live fat market was 114 to 115, few 115 and a half. But if you look at the weighted average through Thursday there, your weighted average is just sitting at about 114.15, and so there's a lot more cattle traded down at the 114 than we thought compared to the 115, and then I think a lot of cleanup type junk and things like that trading like $1.11 and things like that. We even had some of that on Friday. Had some more $1.14 Friday. People scrambling to get that market and take advantage of the basis late in the week. But anyway, it's turned off a little bit negative here. Most all your dress sales though up in Northern Plains were 175, and your weighted average is going to be real close to that 175 on a dress basis. But you look at your box beef cutout values, they were better all week following the Thanksgiving. That's a big drive, especially on your rib cuts there to get some of those high quality products leading right up into the Christmas holiday there. But choice carcasses, your average trade for the week was $189.55, which was up $3.25. Selects at $172.81, up $2.98. Your slaughter for the week, 616,000. Another big week there, and not really comparable to the holiday week kill from a week ago, but compared to the same week a year ago, up 60,000 head. So another big kill, and we've been seeing big kills here for the last few months, and it's been real positive and keeping these cattle cleaned up, even though our weights are still running big and the second biggest only the last year. But like I said, I don't look for us to gain any more ground in the cash fat cattle market for the rest of the year. You're trading at $1.14.15, and you got a spot board just a little bit over $1.08. That gives you a $6 basis, and these guys are going to come in next week, and if they could get the $1.14, which is doubtful that they can with the board down so hard on Friday, that would be like selling their fat cattle at $1.20 after they tack that basis on. So, but probably going to lose a little ground this coming week on the fat cattle trade. Hopefully not a bunch, because it's so hard to get that market position back, and that your feedlots are going to be so easy to trade with the big basis they're tacking on, and you can't really blame them. They haven't made any money on these cattle in so long. They haven't even had any cattle wash for a long time, and they're getting close to having that happen. And some of these cattle will wash here this week when they figure up the break evens, and you tack that big basis on, and they'll get a little bit closer to it if they're hedged up, which most everybody is. But you look at your feeder cattle market for the week. You can't really look at those midweek sales that were trading $6 to $10 higher across the board, maybe 12, 15 in spots, because they were picking up all of this week's increase and all of last week's increase the previous week, your holiday week. You really can only look at those early week sales that we had this past week, and they were mostly $2 to $5 higher on your feeders and calves, and maybe a few spots on some really good quality reputation calves as much as $10 higher. But your calves in Oklahoma City were only steady, and it's had a blast of cold weather come through even the southern plains, but up in the northern plains a little bit of snow around and everything, and guys aren't going to be quite so hot on some of these stocker cattle. Most everybody's got their wheat cattle turned out now, and they're not going to be able to really add to them or anything. But your really good ranch calves that have just now coming to town, and most of the years they would have already been sold a couple of months ago, but everybody was just holding off because they didn't like the market at all. But those big strings of fancy calves are bringing a big price, and now you've got your farmer feeders fully into the market now that they're completely done with harvest, and they can come in there, and the weather's turned cold. We're not having near the sickness that we had before, and barring a big storm that kind of cripples the growing yards and feedlots, we should continue to have good demand for these big calves, and at these lower prices, of course. But and what yearlings are showing up, a lot of demand. You look on Cattle Market Central here on Friday there, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Lexington, Nebraska, had a big string of big yearling steers there, and true yearling steers, 254 head in one bunch, weighed 893 at 135.85. That's more than $10 over what your index is on an 800-pound steer, let alone one weighing 9 like that one there. But check out DV Auction coming up this Monday. Virginia Cattlemen's Association having another tele-auction on Monday at 6 o'clock Eastern. Got about 22 loads of good wean calves and yearlings on there, and they'll all be peas in a pod and graded up for you, and everything will be right. So check out that auction, and then go ahead and look at your schedule on DV Auction for a lot of upcoming production sales. But on the road here with DV Auction, and we'll talk to you on Wednesday.